It's Wednesday on Yourview. Welcome to the show. I am Tokwe Mark Odige, and YK is in the building.
Yo. YK is very tired.
I can't believe it. We thought we gave you the entire yesterday to rest now.
I went to Igbajo on Thursday, funeral on Friday, got back on Saturday. My cousin he retired as a brigadier general on Saturday, and his wife's 50th. Then my best friend Carol, her birthday was
on Monday.
And today is my daughter's birthday.
Oh, Larry, happy birthday.
5, happy birthday. I know she's not watching, but happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Larry. We love you.
Oh, lovely.
It's been a pact. You know, as you get older, you can't avoid attending some
major events
because you're building relationships, you're meeting people, and you have to. They are doing for you, you will do for them.
You see how I am now. I've burnt the candle at both ends, so I'm totally exhausted. So please, papers, everything. You'll be looking at me today like a...
don't worry, we'll give you a topic that will get you talking.
I came to sign register.
Toby, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. It's such a delight to be here. I'm meeting her for the first time.
Yay!
To be honest, you look more amazing in person.
Thank you.
And yeah, my day was good. Yesterday was great. I run a business that sells shea butter. So we sell shea butter in strawberry, vanilla, minty, and native variants. And so because of childbirth, I'd kind of like slowed down on business. And so yesterday, again, orders kept coming in, and I was like, this is really great, you see. And I feel like, you know, it's important in a woman's life to go through those phases, and how you snap out of it is really important. So I'm grateful to God to have gone through that phase, and I'm
trying to get back
trying
into
to
business.
balance. Yes.
Oh, well
it's a
done.
journey.
Well
It's a journey.
Yeah.
You are doing well. Mariam?
Yeah, so yesterday I had a very weird experience. So I went to the mall to do some shopping with my children. And you know how the children were in front of me. My daughter was right beside me. My son was in front of me. And I was, just, how we teach them, walk up straight, stop slouching. I was saying that. And then I heard someone say, wow. My first thought was maybe the person heard what I was saying to my son and thought, okay, wow, to that message. And then I turned and he was looking at my backside. And then he looks up at me and goes, I like what I'm seeing. It was so strange. You could see the fear in my daughter's eyes. And then he comes into my personal space, right?
Your private airspace.
Yes. And then it was such a weird experience. I was looking at my child. My son wasn't even aware, so I grabbed their hands. I walked towards where the security people are. And I wanted to take a walk. So sometimes when I go to the mall, the car would be a bit farther than normal. So I would walk from maybe one mall to the other. So I stood there to call the driver to just come and meet me because I just did not understand. Then he did what was even more weird. He gets to that place where I am. There are security people around there. And then he greets them like an angel. Good evening, ma. How are you? Hope your day was well. And I felt like he was trying to, this is not a normal person. Imagine meeting that sort of person alone in the dark. He looked like a normal human being, but I felt like he was trying to send me a message.
There was something about
very
negative.
Evil.
Yeah.
So he came across to those security people like a very well-behaved.
So if you reported, they would not get it.
They would not understand it. I thought I was strange.
You know, I told you that your bum is...
Auntie Amy on national television. Meanwhile, it is extremely wrong. We need to train Nigerians to understand what's compliments and what is an insult.
I know, but I told her the other day that, Miriam, even me, I had to comment. So that stranger...
A woman
in front of my children, the way that he did it, that was...
No, I'm not saying it was right. Yeah. I'm just saying that maybe he couldn't help himself.
No. Not the way she
described. Looking hot. Is she not looking hot?
I had my banter. YK, please let me banter my banter. So there's someone that my husband met about 2 years ago. He drives hailing cab in Benin City. Simon, really amazing guy, and we've been using him consistently. But he has such good character that the relationship has gone beyond just you driving me whenever I come to Benin to taking me to when I'm going to work in my locations. When I go to Benin, I just call him. He will show up. I might not pay him for my 3-4 days in bidding, and he would collect his money later. And now my husband has empowered him with a skill in IT, because they are doing a structure, they are doing CCTV in a big place in Benin City. And my husband felt, who can I trust to supervise this project? And who did he think of? The diligent Simon, that was a driver. So Simon now has gone from being just a driver to being skilled. He got the training free. He's being paid salary. He got the laptop. In addition to the fact that he still has his car that he can do his job. You know, like, people should understand the goodness, having a good character. That wherever you find yourself, don't count yourself out, and opportunities will still meet you.
Exactly.
I just wanted to share that story because he was telling me again that Simon is bringing the engineer. I just remember this is Simon,
the driver.
No, but that just shows you that if you lay your bed right, the results come. There is no fast. There is nothing about fire. You can't make fast money.
Sure.
You know,
thank God for him.
I am happy for him. And you know, and just in that same vein, life is a story. You know, we all have our different stories that shape our journeys on earth. And I would like, if any one of you have any part of your story, a challenge you're going through that would enable people learn, or even enable people teach you how to deal with the challenges you're facing, you will get answers from the ladies of Yourview and professionals concerning any challenge you're facing. And we'd like you to send your story to us, whether anonymously or otherwise. Send it to the mail you can see on the screen right now. It is yourview@tvccommunications.tv to tell us your story. We'd love to share with others. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we're going to the pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Yourview will be right back.
Welcome back. Front page review will be starting today from The Nation. Major headline: Ministers, Tinubu moves SAN, ex-governors, technocrats, others. Senate leaders, president's list ready tomorrow. We are all waiting. Atiku, PDP confused. President tells tribunal. NEC discos fine-tune tariff hike plan. Federal government will redirect 800 million palliative cash. ASU loses bid to stop Konwa's registration. Cash surge into economy forces interest rate hike. Federal government has raised $500 million for food sufficiency, says Shetima. And Southeast battle erosion. Ladoja pledges loyalty to Olubadan in council. What story are we starting with?
Okay, I'll go first. So the federal government will redirect $800 million palliative cash. We remember we had heard at first that there was going to be an 8,000 naira towards 12 million households that were, you know, poor Nigerians. But definitely there's been a rethink, especially as when Nigerians responded when we heard the story at first. So the Ogun State governor said that this was during a television program. He said that the administration is thinking of investing that $800 million World Bank facility in energy transmission project. He said that though he's not the spokesperson for the federal government, he can see that the government is leaning towards using such intervention for energy transmission. For instance, purchasing CNG, that's compressed natural gas buses, and distributing them across the country. And that this is better, he's considering this as against distributing cash to households. And also he was asking Nigerians to be patient with the government, as it's commendable that Tinubu meant well for the country by stopping the payment of petrol subsidy. And also said that the renewed hope is here with us, and what has sustained us thus far. We also have the World Bank also talking about to governors how to use the Nigeria COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus, that's the NG care structures, to coordinate this, asking them to coordinate distribution and palliatives in their state. As we know,
we still have access to that.
Yeah, so they said, as we all know, states have these social protection structures that can transfer cash. And I think it was Monday or so, we're talking about different governors talking about the different ways that they're going to provide palliatives to, you know, the indigents of their states. So
that's good. You have a story?
Yes, I have a story. NERC discos fine-tune tariff hike plan. So the National Assembly yesterday objected to the proposed electricity tariff hike in the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission and the Electricity Distribution Company that's discussed. But the Senate and the House of Reps said the proposed tariff increase should be put on hold to allow Nigerians breathe. Right? The article also goes on to say that...
so they'll still be increasing the... whether we like it or not.
Yes, but apparently in the article it goes on to say that there's been a decline in the supply. So it says, however, I noted that the electricity supply declined from 5,000
megawatt
956 gigawatts in the first quarter of 2022 to 5,852 in the first quarter of 2023. So that's not so much, but we would see that even between last year and now, there's been some considerable difference in how electricity is supplied even to our homes. I hope that they're able to sort this out as soon as possible, but the summary is that they're putting a hold or trying to fine-tune the processes of increasing the tariff plans.
It was supposed to increase, I think, since the 1st of July, and then the pressure from people stopped it from happening,
Yes.
and now they are trying to find a way to see what form of hike they are going to be putting in.
Exactly.
We've been waiting for the ministerial list. Everybody's been waiting for the ministerial list, and right now they're giving us a little hint to who and who would get into the ministerial list. Currently, we have 2 former governors from the north and 2 former governors from the south, and southeast. They also mentioned that we have a prominent senior advocate of Nigeria. Now, there are many. Start guessing who is the prominent one. And it includes top bankers, economics, health professionals, experts in other endeavors. A pack of everybody is waiting for this list. And because we actually expected that the president will, had promised that he already had the structure on ground. We felt he would get into office and maybe like in less than 1 month we would get our ministerial list. But we're seeing that it is tough to handle. It's different when you're outside than when you're inside. Moving on to the Punch major.
Okay, I was going to take the Conwa.
Please.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, we told you.
Well, I read small.
Yeah, okay.
The court has affirmed Conwa as a trade union. So the academic, ASU had taken them to court to say they were not, they couldn't be there, but the court has said that you can have more than one trade union.
Wow.
And that they also said at the time ASU filed the suit in June last year, was it June last year? The Conwa didn't exist. They were registered on the 17th of January as a trade union. So they
were just a group.
So the claimant did not, anyway, Sha.
I find that interesting, honestly.
Yes, I find it interesting also because, you know, ASU had so much power at some point, such that, you know,
so that's why they didn't want Conwa in, because they felt Conwa would be they're trying to cause a bit of friction. But the last part about the dates that they filed before it was registered, the Conwa was already existing at when they filed.
Exactly.
So maybe it wasn't registered.
Maybe it wasn't registered.
Yeah.
From here, it says it was registered on the 17th of January.
2023.
And it's true that in June 26, 2020, when the claimant filed the suit, they thought the defendant was not in existence.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then the Minister of Labour was one of the... So we don't have a Minister of Labour. So I'm wondering if the past was one of the defendants. In
Oh, it has to be...
So moving on to the Punch. Yeah, he was. Major headline, Nigerians demand reforms as Tinubu submits ministerial list. Emefiele, lawyer condemns DSS. Warders clash as family protest to arrest. Adamu Omishore meets Tinubu for reconciliation. APC chieftain. Lagos Okada riders accuse policemen of extortion. Resident doctors begin indefinite strike today. CBN vows to tackle forex pressure. Raises lending rate. Discos to return $1.2 billion for 374 projects, says NDPHC. And threat to Kogi Bayelsa Imo. Polls disturbing from INEC. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we would continue with Front Page Review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the front pages of the paper, and we just went through Punch. Now to the stories. Who has what?
I've got... Okay.
Yeah, go on.
All right, so I've got resident doctors begin indefinite strike today. This is a sad story because I remember they had sort of put it on hold, hoping that they will start negotiations or conversations with government. But they're saying that they're going ahead with indefinite strike. And this was the spokesperson, the NAD president, that's the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Emefiele. He said that they had spoken, when they had first, talked about going on strike, the secretary to the government, George Akume, had intervened and told them, they will get on it. But since then, they haven't heard anything. They've been trying to reach them silent. And the resident doctors are tired of waiting.
But they don't even want to hear, now.
Well, they don't want to hear anything, and so they're going ahead. And the things that they're demanding for, the same thing, but they say the very important part of our demands is one-for-one replacement, and doctors are still leaving, and the ones remaining are being overworked. He gave an example of a doctor in Bielsa who had died from being overworked, and that this has been going on for too long, and so that's why they're going ahead with the strike. I know
Lagos has a policy for that one, for automated replacement of doctors and teachers as a system.
As a policy, but how is it in implementation?
This is not Lagos. This is federal.
Yes.
So if they can replicate the same policy across the 36 states, that on a federal level, if one person leaves, the CMD has the right to replace that person with an equally qualified person.
But that's what they're saying. There's so many leaving. How many qualified are left to take on the numbers? It's not as if that we have doctors just sitting and waiting. It's just that we have very few.
Okay, you have the story on...
Some commercial motorcyclists have accused the Lagos State Police Command of extortion. They claim that the police attached to Afonka and Shasha, Moshalashi police station along Ayobo Road, are always harassing them. That when they don't even ply the banned roads, but they come and meet them where they're parked, on banned roads, and then they start to extort money from them. One motorcyclist, Christian Asuko, said that his friend had been the victim of a policeman that collected 2,000 from him. He said, sorry. Anyway.
Extortion.
Yes, but that they come to OK Street. Said they come to OK Street at the Kpako Junction. So these are different places. There is Moe, there is Shasha, and Ayobo, all those places that they're coming to meet them there. That they should please do something about it. The spokesperson, they couldn't get the spokesperson, but the officer they called said yes, that they had heard, but that they can't talk about it, that the PPRO has to talk about it.
So, yes, Adamu Omishore meets Tinubu for reconciliation. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday received in audience the immediate past national chairman and secretary of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Senators Abdullahi Adamu and Yola Omishore, respectively, at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa. The article goes on to say that Adamu and Omishore went to the villa to thank the president for the opportunity given to them to serve the party. This shows that they are good party men. That they resign their position does not mean that they're no longer members of the party. And this article really explains that how it is that, when we see as citizens that some people have resigned some posts, we take it personal and feel like the world is going to fall. But at the end of the day, we see that these people are still in a team. They still don't mind. But we, as citizens, we take it really personal. And I think you
are very right. Because everyone will be fighting for them, but they go and meet in parties.
Yes. Their children marry each other.
Yes.
That's the one that's so shocking.
You will not take their
problem on us. Yes, leave them.
It is well. Daily Sun, major headline, Senate prepares for recess amid non-submission of ministerial list. Security agencies delay Tinubu with slow check on nominees. That's a good information to put out there. And the senators prefer list with full security reports. They said it will get to us in 48 hours. That's from Bamidele. There's a beautiful picture that has been on a few papers that I didn't mention. Pictures showed the group CEO of X3 Media, Steve Abaiko, and the governor of Lagos State on winning the West Africa's and Nigeria's first award at the world-acclaimed Cannes Lion Advertising Festival in 70 years. That's a big deal. And there's a bad picture that is our hot topic later today of DSS officials and prison. 2
faces of Nigeria.
Yeah, 2 faces. One is celebrating and another one embarrassing us. Moving on to other stories, Emefiele DSS prison officials in power tussle fight over custody of ex-CBN governor. Ijaw youth declare war on oil firms in Niger Delta over gas flaring. Kaduna records 68 suspected diphtheria cases, 8 deaths. National Assembly bans disco NEC from increasing electricity price, estimated billing as well. And Senate in rowdy session as Oshemole faces lawmakers' wrath. YK, you're going to take that story, right?
So apparently, Adams Oshemole gave an interview where he said that they looted all the video, the laptops, the carpets, everything that he himself, that he had to buy his own laptop, he had to buy his own, what else did he buy? Anyway, he had to buy some things, furniture. So the Senate were watching. So yesterday now, when he got to, they now bombarded him. How dare you say that we are looters? That we said, so he now said, he apologized. They said the Senate president called him and, asked him to apologize. So he said, he apologized. That's not what he meant to. That's not what he meant. And he was just saying that he was trying to defend why they need 70 billion to redo their furniture. It's because all the furniture has been stolen, vandalized, not looted.
The English has
some comic relief. But
if they took it away and he said it, why are they upset about
but he's a junior member, they are senior members.
They have CCTV. They will know who to
They know now.
the video.
Did he lie? If I were him, I would say, but did I lie?
This is his first.
Yes,
He should watch himself.
I actually listened to the interview of him saying, no, not the interview, apologizing. No, I didn't mean it like that.
So sadly, I'm taking us to Kaduna State, where it has been recorded that 68 suspected cases of diphtheria, and then 8 deaths from the disease as well. We've taken this story quite a bit recently. So they're saying it's a serious bacterial infection that affects the mucous membranes of the nose and throat.
Key
so
symptoms?
in Kaduna, well, I'd taken it before, so I think you get sore throats, a fever, a headache, and they say once you have those symptoms, especially for children, make sure you take them to the hospital. Because what had happened is a lot of people try to take care of them at home, and by the time they get to hospital, it's too late. It blocks their airways. Anyway, so here in Kaduna State, they mentioned some of the cases. They said the areas that are most affected are Kaduna North, Kubao, Makarfi, Kafanchan. And they said they have 5 fatalities from Jama'a and 3 from Makarfi. So it's just an announcement to let people understand that this is very much real and we should be careful. We should remember hygiene and sanitary procedures.
Wash. You have a story about the Ijaw?
Yes, Ijaw youth declare war on oil companies in Niger Delta over gas flaring. The article goes on to say that Ijaw Youth Council has warned that it will no longer condone incessant gas flaring and insensitive practices of international oil companies operating in the Niger Delta. He urged governments, one of them urged governments to explore areas where the region has competitive advantage in order to ameliorate the uncontrollable suffering of the people. Right. I think that this has been reoccurring for
over and over again. We shouldn't even be talking about this anymore. It should be long forgone, but we will still talk about it because the impact on the lives of those that live within Niger Delta, we shouldn't be flaring gas, but that's all we can take. I'll just read the headlines for Vanguard. Major headline from Vanguard is the same story all over. We're talking about it as our hot topic for today. DSS prisons officials in free for all over Emefiele. And in other stories, rowdy session in Senate, Waike just took that story. A sad one, CBN has intensified anti-inflation effort, and that move is by raising the MPR to 18.75%. That would impact on businesses. Tinubu to send ministerial list to us in 48 hours. That was also explained that because they were doing security check. National Assembly moves against electricity tariff hike and estimated billings, and federal government ASU court confirms Konwa NAMDA registration as trade union. That's what we can take on front page review for today. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll discuss our hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Officials of 2 federal agencies yesterday engaged in fisticuffs over the custody of the suspended CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele. The fight occurred at the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, Lagos, where Mr. Emefiele earlier appeared before the judge and was granted bail. Armed operatives of the State Security Service and those of the Nigeria Correctional Service fought within the court premises with their hands over who would take custody of the suspended bank chief. While the prison officials argued that Mr. Emefiele should be in their custody pending when he meets his bail condition, the SSS officials said they had a separate court order to rearrest him, whether or not he meets the bail conditions. What are your thoughts on this? Join the conversation by calling us on 0810-764-1679, or you can call us on 090-241-63440. It was a very embarrassing situation because watching the video, I was wondering, like, are we not all on the same team? Then you would think about the international scenarios where a few of, like, there's been interagency clash, but not in the level of physical fighting over a person. I would like to start with Mariam.
Okay.
Because I know that you were in the proper way. When you saw this video, what was your thought?
Well, you know, this is not our first experience. We've seen it when I think it was the pensions guy who looted our money and back and forth in court. So it's looking like we don't understand or respect the judiciary. And, you know, and if agencies like that do not have respect for the law, then how do you expect people, or regular Nigerians, to have any respect for the law? I don't get it. If he's been granted a bail, if he's been granted bail right there in court, and DSS was there when he was granted bail, was it that they came with a second court injunction right there and then? Okay, I guess they are both, they are both respecting the law. It just really looked bad. I mean, there has to be a more civil way to have this conversation, more civil way to discuss this. There can even be a behind closed doors fisticuffs, I don't care, you know, where you're demanding and insisting this person goes with us or it goes with anybody, and then your lawyers will work it out behind the scenes. But right there, in front of the whole world, you're fighting each other, dragging. Look at that man that he pulled his shirt open. How unprofessional. I mean, I don't know if it's embarrassing or funny. It's just a combination of everything. And it's just our way, because we have done this one too many times, actually, and you would expect that there will be a change in the way that we conduct ourselves or carry ourselves, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be any change anytime soon. Okay, I know you watched the video. You were laughing even during the break, watching it again. While some people would laugh at it, the point is, it's highlighting a weakness in our system. It sends the message like we don't follow the rule of law. And it also speaks of like agency rivalry kind of stuff. But which of these did you feel played out yesterday in court?
The first text I got about it was show of shame. And to me, that's what it was just a show of shame. The DSS and the prison, you see, I'm not a fan of Emefiele. And his policy destroyed a lot of businesses. Even my own business has not fully recovered from that rubbish he did in December. But that doesn't mean that I will watch something so bad happen and I will think it's good for him. I can't do that. I can, because anybody no more. It is who it will meet that you will know that this same Emefiele, when they gave him court order to put money down, him and Buhari, they did some magic at that time. They said, okay, they will only release 200 naira. Can only use the old 200 naira. So banks did not have the 200 naira. They disobeyed the court of law. And that is my own fear. Do we have courts? Do we have courts? What is happening? They are just discarding the courts. They are making the courts look like toothless bulldogs. Why will you do that? Because you could have brought, if you will know that the court is going to ask them to go now, you will know. I'll give him bail. So you will have your injunction ready. I'll be your court order. Please come, we are arresting you again for another charge. You didn't have that. You now started to fight.
They said they had it.
Tear shirts.
They said they had it.
We didn't see it. We didn't see any video saying it. They have not posted it. No paper has reported it.
That they got another court.
So yeah, well, the video showing is the video of the drama that happened outside the court as the DSS officials were having fisticuff with the... It wasn't really a fisticuff. It was just like they were...
It's not fisticuff. What else is
if
left?
Your two children should fight that kind of fight,
is it not?
You will not beat them.
Beating.
So you will beat them now.
Uniforms apart.
So these are our president's children.
Well,
He's supposed to call them now and start to slap them. What kind of misbehavior is that?
The only person that can caution, the only person that we can all run to when we feel like we've been disenfranchised or we are being overwhelmed is the court.
Well,
that's where we will go to now.
Better not meet the DSS
and it is in front of the court that this is happening. What were your initial thoughts?
Taking it from where you stopped, the court, I feel like it's important to know which guiding body is like a guideline as a nation. If you say the court, we see over and over again that even when they say A, the people that the judgment was passed to would say B or would do B. And at the end of the day, I'm like, so I reached out to a friend of mine whose dad was a former prison head. And I said, what's the process like? Because, you know, upon seeing this DSS and police, I began to question who actually has the right to take Emefiele away. And he said that initially there was something called Black Maria, where we see that black vans would always just take prisoners and all that, but we don't see that anymore. We see it as green, they call it now Green Marias. And even though the court said that the correctional facility should take him, they still ended up fighting like that. And you know, I was careful to watch the video because my son was around. I'm sure you start asking, Mommy, who are these fighting? You know, it became so embarrassing for me. I had to just put it off. And I think that what we're playing with as a nation is not playing with us. Because for the younger generation, like me, I see these things. And, you know, there are countless of my friends also that see these things. And I'm like, which way forward, Nigeria?
You know what? Okay.
Let me take this call. Akeju has called in. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, let me congratulate myself for the first time getting you for the
welcome to the show.
Congratulations.
For the past 10 years, I've been trying to call
we're happy to.
We're not connecting. Yeah. You see, what the drama that happened yesterday at the court yesterday, I think Nigeria, we don't respect the rule of law. Yes. We know, Emefiele have fucked up in big time. We know what he put Nigeria into. But that doesn't mean a separate court has given injunction that, okay, this guy should be released and be taken to a correction center. Why will DSS act as if they are God in the court of premises there? Imagine a DSS member trying to rubbish another officer to the extent that they even tore the person uniform. That is very wrong. At least they could have even separate this. Since the court have given what's it called, judgment, you have to take this one first. So that maybe if you want to rearrange it, not take another court order. It's still possible. But must you rubbish our system of government, our democracy? The whole world are watching us. What they did yesterday, I was like, it's uncalled for. But may God help us in this country.
Amen. Thank you so much, Akeji.
Amen. Because that's a very serious prayer that you pray, and may God help us. Because
we're always praying.
I was saying before that, by now, somebody from the presidency should have reacted. What is wrong? What is wrong is wrong. Are we going to be... Is this... Okay, should we just say, let's be settling our matter with hand now, since we're not respecting court?
You know, that's like the last point of... That's where everybody should be able to get... It should actually be the... the judiciary is where we should get justice from. They are the ones that should help us to uphold the law. And when we'll take a break now. When we return, we'll advise Nigerians and advise Nigeria on how we can strengthen the judiciary. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the show of shame that happened yesterday between the DSS and the Nigerian Correctional Service, and over who will take the custody of former, the suspended CBN governor, and how should we address it? Who are we to blame? What are the ways to resolve and avoid?
I want to understand who the DSS reports to. Who is the DSS Oga? And how come they always seem to be able to, do a lot of things and get away with it, disrespect the court orders and still get away with it? Who is calling them right now and speaking to them and reprimanding them, or is it that there's the head of the DSS that is encouraging this behavior? Are we looking at a group of people who just do not understand how to do their job or carry out their job? Or is this how it is meant to go? Is this what the, ethics for their work, is that what is laid out? That no matter what the court says, when we send you out by fire or by whatever, you make sure you bring that person back. So I feel that we need to be hearing from the DSS right now on the way that the officials are meant to conduct themselves when they go to arrest, and after they have gotten a court injunction or a court order, if they are meant to respect it or just disregard it because they are the almighty DSS.
I'm going to read from the DSS portal after we take Daniel's call. Good morning, Daniel. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, my name is Daniel. I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
Welcome to the show. Good morning, Daniel.
Yes. First, what happened that yesterday is a disgrace. It's something that the government should come down heavily on. Remember, the same DSS had this same standoff with the EFCC in the early stage of this government. It took the president to now address the security agencies, saying that they must work together. There must be a synergy. All these are federal government institutions. How come? Never happened. And for me, people must answer for what happened that yesterday. Where is the synergy? How did they now work together?
They don't.
Openly? Openly. That is a shame. And people, there must be consequences for actions. And it's a disgrace, honestly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Daniel.
So,
Do you know that they were all wearing masks, so you cannot even identify who is this?
Yes.
So you knew what you were coming to do. You all wore masks.
Well, I think DSS are meant to
you're not supposed to like see them like
them.
that.
Yeah.
You were going to say something to me.
Yes, so this case just makes me ask the big question in the room. What is special about this case? Why is it that DSS...
No, but we know that the case of this is the person in interest Most DSS is only involved in special cases, you know, that the one of, I had to, or based on their website, they are to prevent and detect any crime against the internal security of Nigeria. They're supposed to protect and the protection and preservation of non-military classified matters concerning internal security. So that keeps coming again and again. Prevention and detection and investigation of threats of espionage, subversion, sabotage, terrorism, separatist agitation, intergroup conflict, economic crimes of national security dimension, and threat to law and order.
So we know that one of the cases charged against Emefiele is also terrorism.
Yes.
And if you ask Nigerians that question, they will remind you of a few months ago, how we could barely eat, how people, you know, it seemed like the policy that was carried out, the way it was executed, it seemed like it was sabotaging.
So it might fall under economic crimes of economic crimes of national security dimension and threat to law and order. So, but what I saw displayed looked like the DSS were the ones carrying out a threat to law and order. I would have loved if one agency had just piped down. Like, it would have been okay if you let the maybe this national, because in terms of hierarchy, you would place DSS above every other. So when you find yourself in that situation, just let them go. You can then go to court to say you are contesting why the DSS came to take somebody that is lawfully given to you to be in your custody. That should be the next. Not that you are struggling to keep him and then another person is struggling to take him. Once DSS shows up and say, I'm DSS, and they identify as DSS, every other person should stand down. That would be my thought. If I am wrong, Colin.
No, when they call. So you're disrespecting the judiciary. You cannot... Who are we? I mean, if you disrespect the judiciary, then do we have a country? Do we get justice?
Let's discuss about how, if it is disrespect, because they have a court order. We've got a caller from the Ikorodu. We'll take that call and find out if they actually have a court order. Shouldn't it...
But if in this case they have a court order, we know of many cases where they do not have a court order and they're still holding on to those people.
Daniel, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Everyone.
Good morning, Daniel.
Yeah. This is a very shameful disgrace and shameful situation and national disgrace to this country yesterday. But I have a different opinion for the fact that I would not like disobeying the rule of law. But like I say, I have a different opinion. And my opinion is this. First, we should know that there are so much allegations against Emefiele. And, you know, taking Emefiele to the court was forced by the court.
Yes.
And I believe the DSS have not established all their... Number two is that, you see, our rule of law does not favor common man in Nigeria. It only favors... And if you look at that situation, the way the prison custodians were dragging it yesterday, they were only fighting for their pockets because they know if a Emefiele gets to their place, they know what they can make from it. They know what they are going to make from it.
So that's an accusation.
The lawyers that were defending, that were defending Emefiele. Please, I'm sorry, I'm taking much of your time. The lawyers that were defending Emefiele, they know what they are doing. Look at the case of this kid boy at Ibadan. His own case was also payable of them. The judge gave him bail. He should be reminded in the court. This Emefiele case was more stronger than the Ibadan guy now. So please, let us, like I said.
That was Shola's opinion. Doesn't reflect, and there's no, he didn't state any fact to back it up. But we are used to always assuming that everybody is working in their self-interest. The man could just have been working as per, I have the instruction from the court that I should take this man into custody, and somebody is coming to carry him away. So let's not assume.
I want to put it in inverted commas, as you always put it. This rule of law that we say, because is there really a rule of law? Because there are so many people that court has released, DSS will hold them. Shebi Nnamdi Kanu is there. He has not been released. Every day the court will say, we release Nnamdi Kanu every day. Court is not saying their own. DSS will do their own. So let us know. Say, if you enter DSS problem, you are in problem because nobody can intervene. Abi?
Is that
Yes.
right?
Is that's what I'm saying?
That's what is happening.
Looks that way, though.
That is
Yeah.
what is
Playing
happening.
out.
Once you
So-
enter, just go on your knees and start
you and your
praying for
God.
DSS to release
Yeah.
you.
Toby, you were going to say something.
Yes, so I also found on Premium Times the bail conditions for him yesterday, and it was that the court said that the shorty must have landed property within the court jurisdictions and must be deposed to an affidavit of means. The shorty must be a owner of a landed property within the jurisdiction of the court, who must not be less than level 16 in the Nigerian civil service. It also went on to say the defendant must deposit his international passport with the court and a few other things. And so, from the point where the court gave the ruling, he couldn't have found somebody immediately.
He's not being released on bail.
Yes.
He's going to it was meant to be remanded in the correctional
Correctional
facility
facility.
until
The bail
it wasn't
condition
until
had
the bail
been
condition had been
met.
met. So it is between him making that move to the correctional facility that the DSS interrupted.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not the conversation what we're trying to understand.
It's like when the court gives an order, should you respect it or should you disrespect it? And if you are DSS, does that give you a sort of authority or power even above the law? That's what we're
in
discussing
Nigeria,
here.
we're in
And then,
now,
earlier I was asking who the DSS reports to. We have Adi Baptist says the head of DSS reports directly to the president. And of course, as we know, there's no minister that reports to the NSA as well. Mind you, this person says, mind you, when Buhari was sick, the former Vice President Osibajo sacked the director of DSS when he took action without informing the then acting president. And I remember that, conversation. We thought it was one of the biggest sign of our democracy, the strength of our democracy. We applauded that move. But since then, but since then, So I think the question is, we'll now see how this particular administration addresses issues like this.
We have a call. Hassan has called in from Lekki. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Look, what these guys are doing, you are just mentioning that of correctional service and DSS. What of the lady that went to fetch him with his head close to her armpit into the court like a baby? Who is that lady?
Why does it?
Who is she?
They say she's a court clerk.
Yeah, but it was a bit inappropriate.
Let me tell you one
she was-
thing.
He held Emefiele.
What you are seeing here, you see, it's an insult to the president. People are looking at the president. People think they can do anything and get away with it.
Hassan, you are a regular caller of the show, but that opinion is that's an assertive statement on TV. We really shouldn't allow. We have our emotions, and we all feel many Nigerians. There are very few Nigerians that will have something good to say about the former CBN governor because of the experience we had based on the policy that he pushed. But like YK's approach to this thing, I might not like you, but I want you to get justice in the right way. Because I also might be doing my job and I'm also caught in something like this. I would also want to be allowed to have justice the right way. So what we're asking for is the treatment of Emefiele the legal way to go about this? We're yet to find out. We would like to get maybe constitutional lawyers to help us understand where DSS powers start from and where it ends, and if the court can, obviously the court cannot stop DSS from doing what they want to do. We've had track record of that whenever the court says something, if DSS feels like it's a national security threat, they will go ahead and do what they are meant to do. So how do we now balance that?
So we need to know, is the DSS stronger than the court? So we now know, once the court releases you, DSS...
If DSS is there. In fact,
there's a comment on YouTube.
we should just go to the DSS and say, Oga DSS, can we go? Because there's no need to go to court.
So let's be taking our cases to DSS direct. Okay? Can we get bail?
Okay. So I was told that they had to cut off the last caller because of the statement he made, which I also explained cannot be allowed to go on air. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll see if we can get some callers. We'll get a professional, someone that is a constitutional lawyer, to give us more details on where the power ends and where the power continues. And a lot of Nigerians will get clarity on whether DSS has the power to do what they are doing, or if we should be holding the president accountable for allowing the DSS to continue with what it's been doing. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So this particular topic is a very
emotional.
It's not just emotional, it's a tough one to have, you know. The DSS is, you know, the DSS are seen as don't touch. Don't, if you see DSS, they represent like high level of intelligence, and when they get involved in any case, it means that this is a national threat, something that is a major issue. They're not involved in any small case.
Yes.
And they are also meant to be respected to the level of like almost reverence. Like, you see them, you don't see them. They're supposed to be secret service. They move, you don't know. And things are happening, you just see the effect of, if we don't see crisis in Nigeria, it means that the DSS are doing what they're meant to do, you know? And how do we now draw the line that somebody does not use them inappropriately, or the court, which is supposed to defend everybody, maybe I'm accused of being a threat to national security, and they put together a very good case, and I'm unable to get proper defense by the court. The court cannot release me. I can't get justice. Is it possible that the DSS might be wrong concerning something, or how do we now?
So I like that you brought up this angle, because yes, there are some cases that I have thought, especially, you know, when I first started this show, and the way we discuss as Nigerians, we feel that the judiciary can be compromised, the police can be compromised, like many other agencies can be compromised, but the DSS would not be compromised because of the high level of intelligence that you said. Or maybe they're about to release somebody, but they've got such intelligence that they're unable to tell you the source, and they need to keep it so discreet. That's why they're holding on to people. So sometimes we give them that respect because we're saying there must be something that they have heard. But I guess it's what makes it, but we need to find a way to show Nigerians that our courts are important, that the rule of law is really the rule of law. If this continuous disrespect of court orders and injunction does not speak very well of our democracy, it just still makes the DSS look bad. I guess maybe the only way that they can finally sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you vindicate yourself. It's maybe towards, after they've done this, they're able to show us the reason why they eventually did it. Oh, we saved you from from calamity. You know, many times we've gotten some reports where they says DSS had gotten intelligence reports that we shouldn't be in a certain place. Some people are going to try and, you know, bomb a place and things like that, and they tell us to be careful. So we have that respect for them, that they're performing their duty at such a high level that many of us, mere mortals, mere Nigerians, do not get it. But still, it's still a show of shame to have them dragging correctional officers and insisting to have their way after the courts have said that that person should be remanded in the prisons.
Let's hear Rufus' opinion. Rufus has called from Ikere, Ekiti. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want us to understand something in the case of people that are taken to court. When law enforcement agents, be it the police, be it the maybe if DSS takes you to court, and court granted you bail to go home, the DSS can still arrest you if there's another case against you that has not been brought to court. In this case, the court gives bail to a family because of ammunition possession or whatever. And they are arresting him again for terrorism. It's another case entirely. I think we should understand that. So
do you understand what he said?
Yes.
He said that the DSS probably arrested him for another case that is not
separate
On the count charge.
on a separate charge, which they haven't charged him yet, which we do not know about. I wanted to say, do you remember that in December, they were looking for Emefiele? The DSS was, and they, I think they withdrew their security that were guarding him, and soldiers started to guard Emefiele at that time. So there was something, I don't know what, we cannot know, like you said, we mere mortals cannot know what it was they had against him. But if they have something so horrendous or so...
Let us hear it. Justify. They can't tell us. It's intelligence.
Okay, they can't tell us, but they can hint us now. So that
no, they cannot hint us.
So that we stop shouting. We are shouting like fish people, fish wives. I mean, how they say, they can't, it's rule of law. But because we are not informed. So even if you just tell us, if you hear what we have against this man, all of you will shut up.
Yeah.
So the DSS really does press reports. They are tweeting a bit more in recent times, because I remember there was a tweet that I felt very like DSS is
untouchable.
They're supposed to be like untouchable, unseen, and that expectation we shouldn't even have a conversation like this about DSS, like out of fear of what DSS will do or what will happen.
You have to pass their office every day.
So that's the way we've always sort of like respected and revered
them.
The DSS. But a few things has made us start questioning them. Like when they tweeted about this lawyer, there was a tweet that I read back a year or two ago about Kanu's lawyer being charged and bail lawyer, and it was a tweet from their handle. So there are some things that you must carry yourself.
Tweet.
A derogatory tweet.
I think it was a few weeks ago.
Yes, we shouldn't have derogatory statements. Just being neutral is extremely important for the DSS to portray, and maybe they should always tell us national security. We have a caller. Bayo has called in from Ikeja. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is my first time calling.
Welcome to the show, Bayo.
You are doing wonderfully well.
Thank you.
Some of us, I always go through your program. But I just have to tell you one thing. If you look at the program, I mean, the clips we have seen, are you with me?
Yeah.
The clip then, you realize that there is no respect for anybody. When we were young, you understand, we respect the lawyer. The fact that they pass through your street, you begin to be afraid. I'm staying in GRA, Ikeja, and you will not believe it. Now, see the way we have brought ourselves down to the lowest level, that they are not respected anymore. And from what I saw on the screen, well written on the wall, some of them are fighting for their pocket. I'm sorry to use that language. You understand? Now, they charge him for what? The case that was not even there. Is that a new case? They are raising up. I'm ashamed of myself. Now, when we're watching the program, even on your own television, on your own screen, we see because inflation, a lot of people die, except if you have done a video clip or probably edited the program, the video on your screen. If it's not, you still should be charged for that. A lot of died because of that. He paid money. The conversation between him and somebody was we saw it that one, he paid money that was not even.
We're having network challenges. We're not hearing you well.
Can't hear anything.
It's going out and coming in, but it's sharing what we said. Like we've always revered, respected DSS, and we want to maintain that respect. And a lot of Nigerians have grown over the years based on what we've seen, based on social media being able to record moments. And there's been an increase in disrespect for our law enforcement people, like, oh, police is this, and then it went to NCDC is this. We shouldn't let it get to DSS. We should still, and it is easy, because we had people that were looking down on NDLEA, but with leadership and consistent show of I'm doing my job, NDLEA won back the respect of people. Even as much as Nigerians can complain, we'll say we can see that they are working. The DSS also have that respect, and they seem to be doing some things that's making us wonder, should we still continue to put you on this pedestal? We need to see their show and body language communicating that.
Pedestal of respect or pedestal of fear?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how to answer that question, and honestly, we don't have the. It's above our pay grade. It's classified information. There are many things that we're discussing now that is above our pay and is classified information. The details of this is also above and classified information. And I'll just appeal to Nigerians to put a bit of trust in this, a bit more trust in the system, you know. And that means we should trust the DSS that they know what they're doing, and appeal to the DSS at the same time to help us trust them by obeying the rule of law and communicating with Nigerians when they don't. That would be the ideal. We would all love to trust the system. We would all love to know that if I go to the court and the court says you are released, I'm getting justice. And it will be the work of everybody, DSS, police, the NCS, all of us need to be involved to strengthen this institution called Nigeria. On that note, we've ended this segment.
We have ended it.
Yes.
We still have much. We
cannot say anything because, you know, when I'm living is around them. As I'm saying this one, my heart is beating. We take a break. When we return, we go on to a lighter topic.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining the show is Pastor Olumide Emmanuel. He'll be discussing how to survive this challenging economy and how to create wealth in the present-day Nigeria due to all the economic difficulties that many Nigerians are facing in this season. To join the conversation, you can call us on 0810-764-1679, or you can call us on 090-241-63440. Pastor Olumide Emmanuel, you know that there is something going on in Nigeria. Like everybody is like it has bar everybody. That's what you say. It has hit. It has hit everybody.
That's Emefiele.
Yeah, it seems to. The Nigerians are faced with multiple challenges. We have the challenge of the inflation. The cost of everything has gone up. Food prices, the official figure is different from the figure that Nigerians are feeling. Nigerians are experiencing 100–200% increase in the cost of daily consumables that you cannot avoid. The cost of fuel up, which has affected transportation. The cost of dollar is floating. So it means today you are buying for 7 something, tomorrow you are buying for over 800 naira. And all of these things put together is putting a huge burden on Nigerians. And we're seeing it cranky people everywhere. How do we deal with this economy? Can we still create wealth within this economic structure?
Well, thanks for having me. Nice to be here again. It's very, very important for us to realize that the situation is right there. There is no doubt about that. But we also have to face reality of the environment that we operate in. So the first thing I want us to understand is that it's not going to get better, so that we'll not keep having these unrealistic expectations. If you look back at our democracy since 1999, we have never had a better government. So go think back 23 years.
It keeps getting worse. It
keeps getting worse. It has never gotten better. So we need to have that reality behind us while we are looking at the future. Because see, life is lived forward but understood backwards. We have never had a better government. So to believe or expect that, oh, this one will be better than the former one, you're going to be setting up yourself for trouble. So that's number one mindset you need to have. It's not going to get better. Even when we look at it prophetically, darkness will cover the earth, gross darkness the people. So it's not going to get better. But we're going to go through what has happened with this new government is that they are making the right decisions. Now, the right decisions they are making is going to make things tougher. But if we are able to weather the storm, there is light at the end of the tunnel. With reference to subsidy, I wish that with reference to subsidy, we have all accepted the 2012 verdict. Because Sanusi was crying. Was it Okonjo Iweala? They were all crying. They gave us the figures. But this same APC government and many other people were against them. Today, now, some people are fighting. This subsidy is a fraud. We all know it has to go. So anyone that is saying they should not remove subsidy, you are not being realistic. Because we are at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. So subsidy must go. The challenge is always, should it go now? What do we need to put in place before it go? All those are stuff we will discuss with time. But that it must go, it has gone. Number two, the floating of the dollar. It's a good decision. But one thing we need to understand is that there's what we call the gestation period for every policy. When a policy is made, it takes between 6 months to 2 years, all other factors being considered, before the benefit of that policy begins to come. So all these ones we think things are tough. It's not tough. We have not started. So don't even disease, you have not started. Because we are just less than 2 months in the policy now. So it is when the policy goes through its gestation period. So for the fuel subsidy, for instance, it's going to go higher and higher. Then when all the fuel that people that have given licenses have come in, then it can begin to go down. But don't forget that we don't have any refinery. We have not been able to have one refinery in almost 40 years. Yet an individual did one in less than 4 years. Another one is doing one now that will be ready in another 4 years. It shows that we are not ready. So for you to be expecting that government will do something for you, you are fooling yourself. The government is not there to help you, so you have to think of how to help yourself, which is where survival strategy now comes in. So my own advice for individuals is to understand that the principles that makes for surviving and thriving in any economy has never changed. There's nothing you're going through today that people have never gone through before. They survived it. If we survive lockdown, we'll survive this one. We just need to face reality. And the reality is twofold. Increase your income or reduce your expenditure. But many times, people always think of increasing income alone. Reducing your expenditure is a major aspect of surviving any economy, because the income will not necessarily increase if you don't have value that you are offering that will demand money to flow to you. So if you are earning salary, salary will not increase. They will even most likely sack you. Because if I'm to advise an entrepreneur right now, entrepreneurs should be making the tough decisions. Tough decisions include letting go of people that you can survive without. Letting go of people so that you can be able to have a lean operation and then be able to survive as a business. So that means you that think that things are tough, that the salary is small, you most likely even lose that small salary, because entrepreneurs will have to make the tough decision. So number one is reducing your expenditure. And I want to deal with the major aspect of life. And please listen to me objectively if you want solution. Everyone needs to understand that majority of what you are spending money on, you don't need to spend money on them. You are spending money on them because somebody has programmed you to think that way. And until we go back and face reality, we're going to remain. So let's go to the major thing. Food, clothing, shelter, academics. Those are the things that take money. So let's break it down. Number one, food. You say 3 square meals. Is 3 a square or a triangle? Who told you you must eat 3 times a day? That's part of the setup. So we have all been breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Where? Who told you that? Who defined it such? So even when you are not hungry, you are asking for food. You ask them, hey, where's my lunch? Are you hungry? Hey, but I've not eaten lunch. Must you eat lunch? So everybody must go sit down as a family and say, okay, in this family, from today, 011, 101, 001, whatever, you must reduce your food. Because you eat to live, you don't live to eat. If you eat once a day, you will not die. You're going to go through a period within 2-3 weeks, you will adjust. You'll be shocked that once a day is okay and you'll be healthy. Once you eat well, that's on the food aspect. On the issue of clothing, we don't need to talk too much. Most of the time, it's self-esteem issues. People don't even know what you are wearing. There's what we call the 20-40-60 principle. When people are in their 20s and in their 30s, most of the decisions they make is based on what people will say, how people will feel. By the time you get to your 40s and 50s, you don't care what anybody is saying. By the time you become 60, you realize that nobody was even saying anything in the first place. You are the one setting yourself up. How many times have you done hair, wore shoe, and nobody saw? That you now told them, you didn't say myself, you do shoe. Your husband will give you money to go to salon. And you will return, and he will not even commend you because he has forgotten. There are many things the man is thinking of. It's not that you went to do hair. So most of the things we are spending money on, all the clothes you have in your wardrobe, your bungalow is in your wardrobe. All the clothes you have in your wardrobe, how many have you worn? All through lockdown, what did you do with those clothes? We are bag and shoe to match. Our destiny is not matching our bank account. We are wearing both straight. Our life is not straight.
Amen.
We are wearing 3-piece suit. We don't have three-story building. We need to cut down on all the waste and excesses. Then let's go to shelter. Now you have a wife. Many of us grew up in room and parlor.
You want to stop him?
Husband, wife, and 5 children. We grew up in one room. We grew up in room and parlor. We survived. Cotton was what our parents were using to survive. They didn't have car, they were happy. Now you have cars, you are sad. Now you are in duplex, you are frustrated. Why? Because we have built our appetite over the years based on materialism, what people will think, what people will feel, and we have set ourselves up. You'll be amazed that in Lagos today, the illiterates are the landlord, the educated ones are the tenants. All those people we call illiterate that we think they don't have brain, they are the ones buying land, building houses. You now, you go and park a 14 million naira car in an 8 million naira rented apartment. You think you are a big boy, you lack understanding. And the tenants will be calling you a guy tenant, landlord will be calling you a guy tenants. So we need to cut down on houses. Any room you don't need is not your own. Abroad, they do fostering, they rent out room. It's time for us to begin to think, okay, this one now, do I need to move to Ibadan? Do I need to move to Ogun State? Do I need to move to a cheaper place to save my destiny and save my family? Because it's not going to get better. Do I need to move from 3-bedroom to 2 or from a duplex to a flat? Do we need to cut? That is what needs to happen. Then let's go to education.
Before we go to education, sir, let's take a break. Please drink water. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. Dr. Olumide Emmanuel has been giving us some gbas that we need in the season. And some of us are already reanalyzing our expenditure, even right on the show. You need to act on these things. You were going to go into education.
So let's go into education. Number one, who told you that you must go to school? Where did you get the idea from? Who ingrained that thinking into you? A child is not supposed to go to school until the child is 4 years old. Because we destroyed the public education, a generation of private school owners came and started coming up with products to take money from our pocket and program us into the bondage of education. So they start talking of preschool, kindergarten, all kinds of names for the first 4 years where nothing. And many people now, that's what you are spending money on. So your husband is earning 250. You are earning 80,000 or 100,000. So the total money coming to your family is 350. The school fees you are paying is 200. Where's the wisdom? Can't somebody stay at home and say, look, you know what? For the first 4 years of my child's life, I'm going to stay, I'm going to homeschool this child. My husband, you'll be working. I will stay at home. Many women that are working today, they are not supposed to be working. It has nothing to do with family. It's about my family. What's our family value? This is the formative stage of this student. Stay at home because what you are going to earn is not even anything. You are going to earn 100. So if you are earning something big, they might say, okay, honey, maybe you have, the man will be the one to stay at home. Because we see this happening all over. So we should diffuse ourselves.
Please say that again, sir. Because your voice was very loud when you were saying the women can stay at home.
No.
If the woman is earning more,
the man should stay at home. It's happening everywhere.
And take care of the children.
It's for your family. The man will now stay at home. You homeschool these people. Because one of the things that has affected us is because we have this mindset of full-time housewife, full-time. There's nothing like that anymore in the 21st century. Because everybody, full-time housewife. Because everybody can work from home now. So from home, you can be a millionaire, a billionaire from your home. There are many things you can do from home. So there is nothing like, I don't want to be a full-time housewife. You can be a stay-at-home mom and run things from home and take care of the formative stage of your children. When it's now time for them to go to school, the most important education is primary and secondary. Case closed.
I agree.
Anything after secondary school, you are fooling yourself. Majority of the university today, they are all just wasting their life away. Because many of the courses you are studying is useless. The world is changing. The day you enter school, by the time you graduate in 5 years' time, everything you have learned is useless. Over 80% of what you learn in university is useless in the real world. So what are we killing ourselves? University, you don't know any trade, you don't have anything. After you finish 22 years in school, the first letter you write is, I beg to apply. So the educational system was programmed to make you a beggar so that you can be begging for job because we have people graduating, they can't create job, they are seeking for job. Once you have finished primary school and you have discovered purpose, from primary school, you can now say, okay, I'm going to catering school 3 years or 2 years. I'm going to tailoring school 2 years. You will now go and study to develop the skill that you have discovered.
And you can become a chef
from that point.
At 13.
Because see, the courses of the future, most of the courses people are studying now, they are trying to solve this problem. The courses that will solve tomorrow's problem does not require 4 years. Why? Because certification is almost every 6 months. New things are coming out. So you need between 6 months to 18, 2 years max to be focused on the basics of any skill or career, and then you continue to grow in that career.
What about computer programming?
In fact, that's the simplest one. In 6 weeks, you can start making money.
Online.
In 6 weeks.
You don't need to go
Scrum
to spend 4
Master,
years.
Cyber security, all manner of stuff going on. You can sit in your house and you'll be making millions in dollars legally. There are schools in this Lagos that will teach you that free of charge. They will house you, they will feed you, they will teach you free, they will still give you a job. And then you will pay back when you get a job over a period of time. School free in this Lagos. People are not looking for that. They want to go and do 4 years, and then 4 years that will become 6 years because it's the programming. Because when we're growing up, our parents want you to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. All those courses are useless now. AI is taking over.
What I'm hearing you is we should.
About law? Law is
we should.
There is nothing called law, but it's expired. They are all expired courses. Law, medicine.
It's about
AI is doing it now. Watson will take over. The law you are studying law in Nigeria. When you get to England, you can't practice. You have to acclimatize to their own. You do their bar. You get to America and say, but the software now, AI, will be a global lawyer that has every law of every nation and understands every language. So which law are you reading? We are just wasting time. It's a programming that we have not yet understood. And we are still following that assembly line.
So I argue with all this medicine. I won't leave law. Medicine. You actually need to go and study medicine.
Auntie Yenny, there are AI now, there are robots now. We are in the fourth, in fact, we are in the 15th daughter of which, Auntie Yenny, that I will put the machine on your body now. It will tell me everything about you from A to Z, from head to toe, the state of your kidney, your liver, your lung, and the treatment you need to have. Do you know there are tablets you can take now, just one vitamin? Everything you need for a whole day is inside. You don't need to eat.
Sir, I agree with most of the things.
And you'll be okay. So I'm not saying that those things will not be needed, but the number of people that are going in there will be left stranded. Because by the time you come out, we need 50. There are 5 million of you. You will not be stranded. So we need to begin to think
differently.
Yeah,
that's it.
I get
because
that.
the way forward is you must be a value creator. Many people are in the marketplace, they are not offering value. They are just going to collect. And what does it mean? Money flows in exchange for value. What is value? Meeting needs, solving problems, and answering questions. So you must have something you are offering your generation that they are paying you for. People don't employ for activity anymore. They employ for productivity. You know you are an entrepreneur. Do you know how many unemployable graduates we have in Nigeria? They can't speak good English. They can't write letter without correction.
They didn't go to school.
And these are the people, and you are talking to them.
They went to school.
They went to school, but school didn't go through them because most of these schools, they are not teaching them anything. They are just buying handouts.
I agree with you.
Do you have an idea of the Nigerian university? 300 people in the class, 120 people in the class, 80 people in the class. Lecturers don't come.
They don't even come.
These are the realities. Why are we deceiving ourselves? You now say my child is in this, is in that. Then we now say it's a
and
private.
Borrowing money to pay for
private university. This one is a private this. This one is a Christian. There is no Christian school. There's no Muslim school.
Mariam wants to
just jump in a bit.
Okay.
So, you know, I think you're my favorite guest. Every time you come, I learn a lot. I just want to, maybe let's just clarify this education thing. I know the message you're trying to put across, but I feel that there's such a generalization. Some people will be confused and think that university education is a no-no. I'm trying to understand that you mean the state of our tertiary education right now, because of the way it is, we need to look for other alternatives to educate ourselves. That's what you're saying.
Now, what I'm saying is this.
Because, let me just add this, because this AI you're talking about, those people that have created this, they went to university.
Now, so listen, please listen. I have 2 master's degrees, I have 2 PhD, not all. I went to school, so I have 2 PhD. So I'm not saying that you should not go to school. I'm not saying that you don't need education. But when you are going to school, be going to school because you really need it. Be going to school because it is important to help you to become who you are supposed to be. Many people already discover what they are supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a fashion designer, but because of this programming, you want to first go and do medicine. Yes, sir. Then you now come back to that. You want to first do architecture first. That is the deception I'm talking about. And then when you are going to school, don't go to school based on the programming of the courses you think will help you to be marketable. Go to school to study the courses that will help you to solve the problem of the world you are living in. Many of us are mirroring our parents' dreams and desires. That's why the popular courses now, do you know that in our own days, if you have told your mom you want to be an actor, an actress, they will have said you are a prostitute, they will have said you are doing this, you want to be a footballer, they will say, hey, God, who did this to me? But now, we are in the same case now. If a child comes to you now and says, Mom, I want to be a drone pilot, will you agree? If your child comes to you today now and say, I want to go into robotics, will you agree? I want to be a graphic artist, will you agree? Because in your consciousness, being a graphic artist is not a career. It's graphic artist, they draw picture. That is the program that we have all been programmed in. The colonial masters messed us up, and we are messing up the next generation. Because think of it. Every time you ask a child, what do you want to become? Majority of them tell you they want to become something that requires them to go and get a job from somebody to get a salary. That's the programming I'm talking about. We have been programmed to go to school. The education sector, as it is today, was not set up to help you. It was set up to create workers for the marketplace for capitalists. So it's for us to now know that, look, I'm not going to be a pawn in that. I'm going to go to school to learn to earn, to learn to develop my skill so that I can be skillful to be able to offer value so that money will flow.
Okay. Toby wanted to throw in something.
Yes.
Are you going to education or you want to, you're doing?
He has hinged on it because, you know, sometimes I feel like this programming that you speak about has been so in-depth in our hearts and it's difficult to step away from. So for our viewers today, step by step, how do you advise that we can move away from this programming that generations have passed down to us, understanding that it's important to go to school?
It takes a lot. So I'm not going to tell you it's easy. I'm still going through it in different areas of my life. I still have to sit down with my wife and children. Yeah, I still have to sit down with my family. I still have to sit down with my family and say, look, this is not going to work. We're not going to do this. Why are we doing this? I still do that till date. And it's just the reality. So number one, if things are ideal, and we don't live in an ideal world, if things are ideal, when children are born into a family, they are supposed to be born into a functional family where the parents themselves have understood themselves and they understand parenting. Unfortunately, children are giving birth to children.
Yes.
So dysfunctional people are marrying each other, raising children in dysfunctional environments where it's a generation of dysfunctional people. The parents themselves don't even know better. They are confused. They don't understand. So if it was an ideal situation, you would have known that this child that is being given to me, I have been given the custody. It's not my child. I've been given the custody of this child for 18 years. And the person that gave me this child has a template for this child before the child was sent to me. So I'm supposed to go back to the creator, say, this child you gave to me, what is the template? What's the purpose for this child? And then I'm supposed to be sensitive and observant to identify the traits in this child, because you can't raise every child the same way. So that I can now channel that child in that direction and help that child to discover himself or herself. So that by the time the child is 18, the person is a full-blown adult that can move on his or her own. But because we don't have that system, and many families are dysfunctional, we are still raising people at 25, at 30, 28. People are still in their parents' house asking for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stay in one room without paying, and they say it's my parents. And we don't know that. When you look at the Western world, by 18, they send you out. You are gone. Because anything, yes, you start paying anything after 18 is in the report card. No. You have only 18 years.
16.
Yeah. 16. So, but because we don't have that, at 23, we are still following them to interview. At 25, we are still trying to, and that is why we are raising children. Look at marriages today. A lot of men are children. A lot of women are children. It's because they have been mummified all their life. They have not been allowed to face the reality of life. So it's a continuous cycle. Yeah, so
how do we step away from that?
So it's for all of us that are listening to me right now to begin to realize that, number one, we can do things differently. Go back, identify the things you are doing wrong, identify the areas of deficiency, and come together as a family to make a commitment to say this and this and these are things that will begin to change. E.g., food. In my family now, for many years, 3 square meal has never been part of. My son, even my 10-year plus, the last baby of the house, cannot come and say that, where's my lunch? He can't say that. From 6 years old, he can't say that. He only comes, I'm hungry. When you are hungry, you come for food, we give you food. If you are not hungry, no food. Sometimes he will not eat till 2. You will say, I breakfast. I say, no, I'm okay, I'm not hungry. I'm like, wow. It works. So it's a process you have to go on little by little.
My children are hungry 5 times a day.
No, if they are hungry 5 times a day, you give them food 5 times a day. Because you don't raise them with poverty mentality. But let them understand that food is when I'm hungry. Not that I must eat because there is a timetable that somebody has set for me. Is that so? We are not talking of poverty mentality here. Do you understand? We are talking of helping them to understand that when it's time for them to be able, because there are businesses you will do where you will be on your feet for 10 hours. It's not food you are thinking of. If you don't raise them like that, they won't be able to survive in that atmosphere. Where they will need to now be disciplined.
I have someone that you say
somebody
I'm
can
busy.
now use food to discipline them. Somebody can use food to do all kinds of things to them because they are now hungry. So those are the things that we need to learn what are the things we have done wrong. And then number two, we need to begin to make changes where necessary. And I say marriage is one of the most blessed experience and one of the most cost experience of life. If you marry the wrong person, it can be, all this is we're saying now, if your partner does not support, it can be trouble. I've just dealt with a case this week of a man crying, say, what do I do? These children are still children. I'm telling them that by 9 they should be at home. They are telling me that what do you mean by 9? That's when the party will start. And that they will be back by 11, 12. And my wife said, leave them alone. So that's why there's a problem. I said, my brother, I can't help you. As long as your wife and you are not on the same page, it's not children issue we should be talking. We should be discussing value system between two of you.
It's marriage that you need to fix.
And they are girls. So girls plus girl, 3 against 1. You are going to lose the battle. So just receive grace. So those are the things we need to begin to do. Identify the problems, identify the gaps, and then make a commitment to begin to do it. And when you fail, don't be discouraged. Put a support system around you to help you to say, okay, we said we are going to do, why are we not doing this? It's the same thing with savings. It's the same thing with a lot of other aspects of our lives. So what I will say to people is reduce expenditure. That's what I've dealt with now, which is, let's look at the hard facts. Housing, education, there are many things you reduce expenditure. Then the next thing to do is now to increase your income. So you now see now, that one is not easy to do if you don't have value, if you don't have skill, if you don't have knowledge.
So sometimes you might first have to find the gap.
Yes. As I'm sitting here right now, as far back as 2001, I already had a folder, and I renewed that folder maybe every 2 years as I was growing up on things to reduce. So if for any reason I have need to reduce anything now, I don't need, I'll just go, yeah, this one goes, this one goes. Because I know every money I spend every month in the family, I know that, okay, what am I doing with cable? Well, cable gone. You don't need to be paying any money for any cable station or subscription every month when I can use the internet to still do the same thing. Do you understand? Because you are paying for my internet data, you are paying for cable. The things you are watching on cable, you can now watch. So all those things you notice, okay, we put on diesel generator from this point, okay, no more 8 hours, now 6 hours. You have those, there was a point in my life, in our family, we buy bottled water. For 2 years, we didn't do that. At a point, years ago. Why? Because I said, yeah, no more. But because we knew how much was coming to the soul. Everybody should sit down and face reality. Now, think about it. If all of you came here now with low cuts and pattern, will it kill you? You still look beautiful.
But all don't mind, it's them, not me.
Yeah, no, of course. But all these hair you are buying, now you are telling me you will still going to buy shoes. I love shoes, it's what is putting people in trouble. You have 2 legs, you want to buy shoes.
This week is like 500,000.
Does not spend on hair.
Yeah. She spends on shoe.
She spends on shoes.
So, and you love shoe. If you love shoe, design shoe, manufacture shoes, sell
I like
shoe.
that, yeah.
Then begin to make money for so that the shoe you are wearing is from the profit of the profit, the grandchild of the money. You can now wear any shoe you want to wear. Not that they add in money. You go and use to wear shoe, buy shoe that all of you sitting here now, nobody has ever seen your shoe.
We have
since you have been on this board. Nobody. Except the day that you mention where guys, they will now show it. So you are just fooling yourself.
We have just about 3 more minutes. And we need to make money.
People are busy with their life. They are talking
shit. Yes, we need to make money because some people, there is no reduction. They have reduced everything that can be reduced.
So
the only goal is I need more. So how can they make more money in this economy?
Money only flows in exchange for value. So number one, whatever you are doing right now, begin to think of how you can make more money from what you are already doing. You see, in business, we have what we call forward integration and backward integration. There are many things that you are doing right now that there are still many more money making inside it. So you sit down and observe your product and your service. So, okay, this product, is there another way to make money? So, e.g., you have a product, the customer comes and buys the product once. The customer will not need to come again. So, for instance, if you are selling food now, they can come every day. They can come twice a day. But if you are selling a shoe, if the customer has bought shoe once, they will most likely not come back again.
Especially not that brand.
So that means that that's one customer. What do I need to do to get more money from that customer? So I have to now think of something else to do. Because the 2 ways to grow on that side is, number one, begin to come up with new products for your existing customers. So the customers, you already have one now. Okay, they have bought, so what else can I give to them? Because they are already your customer. So what else? So the person bought a car from you. Can you say, okay, we now do car wash, we now do service, we now sell tires. So you come up with other products that you can give to the existing customer. Then the products you already have now, You now need to take existing product to new customers that don't know you at all. So, and social media will help you do that a lot. So instead of going online just to be able to be looking at who is breaking which person's heart, who dumped who, you go online to begin to look at the portals of people that desire what you have and begin to trade and say, I have this, I'm doing sales, I'm doing discount, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. There's referral. If you bring this person, you will get this. Wow. So those are the things you need to begin to do. And once you begin to explore these two, you'll be amazed. Those two things I've said to you has helped people to be billionaires over and over again. Existing products to new customers and new product to existing customers. Those are two master keys for making unending wealth anywhere in the world.
Wow. Wow.
As usual. Wow.
We have just 30 seconds left on the show. Please, thank you so much, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for giving us a lot to chew on. Yes. On this Wednesday. I am sure everybody in the studio is looking at you like, what just happened? All of us have been...
As usual.
Yeah.
Right now.
So we're going to go and listen again. Please do the same. And...
Don't eat too late.
Please, reduce your expenses, increase... I actually did a video about this. It looked like you had told me, but we know. I've been collecting it from the source. Thank you so much for coming again. Thank you, ladies, for an amazing show. Guys, go on social media, watch again and again, and till we see tomorrow. Remain blessed. Bye.